welcome to tonight's program, Conversations with Thurman, and a giant new Wednesday to us all. How are you today? I hope everyone's feeling fine. I hope everyone have solved most of their problems, some of their problems, one, two, or three of their problems. But the question is, did you solve any problems? Well, let's give a hand to Miss Neha DePia. I always give a hand to her. You know, shout out to her, let her know that I'm thinking about her. She's got a second season of Solving. It's called No Filter Neha, and it's on the Solving channel. I think that's the way they explain it. And they have interesting guests, and the conversations are delightful, and I'm quite sure that you'll enjoy the show. She also has a new movie coming out pretty soon, Tumhari Sulu, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy that show because it's about gender, it's about the new gender, the new bold woman, and businesswoman. So I'm pretty sure you will enjoy it. Now, here we go. All about my conscience and me. The radio program Solving is a very interesting program, interesting people, and they have very interesting conversations. I really enjoy it whenever I can get a chance to watch the program. So check it out and see how you like the program. Okay, the theme of this show tonight is my conscience and me. Like I said, everybody got a conscience. You got a conscience, I got a conscience, everybody got a conscience. But what we're talking about, our conscience, we're talking about self. We're talking about self-realization. When we realize ourselves in consciousness. Most times people don't realize themselves. A lot of times people be living and going around doing things and don't even know they're living. They just existing, not living, just existing. But we're talking about the people that are living. We're not talking about the people that have gone past. We're talking about the people that are living today, regardless of whether we have been regenerated or we have had past lives. That's not the problem. What matters now is not the past lives that you might have had. What matters now is what you are doing. What is on your mind? What is motivating you? What is driving you to do the things that you do? That is what is important right now. We're talking about the self-control. Now, most people know what self-control is about. But did you know that self-control starts with your parents and birth? That's when self-control first occurs in your life. When your parents, you are your mother, you are your dad or your father, and they are controlling themselves. They call it an apparent future. They're controlling you from birth because you are them and they are you. That is the first instance of self-control when you were born, at birth. And then, etc., 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 you adapt to the self-control, and you learn to depend on that control, where your parents are controlling you, your behavior, your whatever, and even spankings and whoopings and all that kind of stuff. That's part of the self-control idea. You see? So now, what's very interesting about self-control is this. Oh, yeah. He was talking about birth and self-control. Well, yeah, I was born. I'm a human being. And, yeah, my parents, I adapted to my parents. They controlled me. They taught me very well. They taught me everything I know. They taught me right from wrong, what is right, what is wrong, how I ought to behave, and so forth. I had desires to accomplish things, but the only problem I had was my environment. Friends is a powerful thing, and friends can change your life. I remember when I was working at IBM in New York. If I had stayed at IBM, if I hadn't been about my friends, and I had stayed at IBM working there because I was climbing the ladder, I was actually doing things, and I probably would have been an engineer now, computer programming engineer, retired, and had all the wonderful things I was supposed to have. But I quit. I quit in order to be with my friends on the street, getting high, stuff like that, you know. And I didn't think what the consequences of quitting my job, what the consequences would. I wouldn't be here in Cleveland, Ohio right now doing this. I would be retired probably and making 90 to 100,000 a year, something like that. But the thing about it is, we have to realize these things. The question is, why did I make the decision that I made? Why did I make the decision to quit my job when I should have been working? Could you tell me that? Well, I must say you got a point there. Now that's birth. That is birth. You know, that is control. I'm also the parent future because I am what happened, you know, that little kid, like I said in another program before, that little kid that you just saw, which was once was a little kid, is me. You know, was that my subconscious? Was that my subconscious making those decisions? You know? But this is a decision I wanted to make. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to do the successful things, to live the successful life, things like that. Well, I wanted to be a lawyer. I thought about it. You know, and I thought about all these things. Matter of fact, later on, I went to computer. You know, the Army sent me to computer classes, although I quit the computer classes. They gave me $2,000, $2,000 from GI, my GI bill, education. They gave me the $2,000. What happened? I quit. Why did I quit? The streets. In the streets with the friends, getting high, you know. It was like going to school, you know. It felt like I didn't have no time to go to school, you know. My friends was out there. See, that's the difference between me. Now, you see me the way I am now, you would say, oh, I went to college. I did all the right things. My family sent me to college, and I finished college, and I got me a profession. I'm making $85,000 a year. Married, my wife is making $70,000 a year. We're doing very well. Oh, the American dream, that's the good old story. That's what everybody wants. That's what I represent. But as representing, why was I making decisions that I was making? Could you tell me that? Well, I'm sure, I don't know if I'm my subconscious or not by the decision I'm making. But you have to look, you have to consider me. You have to consider feelings. You have to consider the reputation of other people and so forth, and their background and so forth. There's a thing they call mother wit. I think I've talked about that before. I'm an example of mother wit. Self-control. Sure, I got self-control. If I didn't have self-control, my tie would not be available to me because I would have no interest in it. Maybe I am my subconscious, but there's a superconscious, and that superconscious is what guides me. The superconscious says, oh, I want to enjoy life. The superconscious is saying, maybe I don't want to be about education. Maybe I don't want to do all those things. Maybe I just want to enjoy life. I just want to go out there and get out and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it's the public spirit that's saying that, and don't cut me short. Don't cut me short about that, because it's the truth. Because yes, that conscious, I'm talking, my conscious, my tie might be my conscious, because that's just what I want to do. And if that's what I want to do, then if I can help myself, then who is better to help than yourself? But like I said, we got a public spirit, and that public spirit is, that public spirit includes your friends, your family, and all the things that you like to do when you socialize with your friends. That's what that public spirit is representing. You have to look at that. You can't just blame me as your subconscious because I'm making other decisions. Who to say that I'm making decisions? Maybe it's my superconscious making that decision through the public spirit. You understand? Nonetheless, that don't make me no less than anyone else, and that does not make me no less than you. And these are the things that you have to understand. Okay. Well said. Well said. I feel like a brand new man. I'm conscious of my subconscious, explaining to me how it is. What happened? Because I was making decisions. Why was I making those decisions? Now I know. It's about self-knowledge. Self-knowledge knowledge is right from wrong, knowing the difference. I didn't know the difference between me putting on a tie or not putting on a tie. I didn't know the difference. Same person. This is what I thought. So what? I mean, it don't make no difference. I might get a job or something like that. But do it really make a difference? Do it really make a difference? Remember, I always say, look, two people standing in front of a Boeing 707 naked. Then you got two people standing in front of a Boeing 707 with clothes on. Pilot's clothes and stuff like that. What do your mind say to you about that? Who built that airplane? Certainly not the ones that was naked. The ones with the clothes on built the airplane. It built the Boeing 707 airplane and everything else we got. So maybe clothes do make a difference. What you're wearing, your coverage, it does make a difference. Your coverage is about something. We have different cultures, different ways that people behave and so forth, and raise their children and things like that. There is a difference. And we have to be aware of that difference. That is part of self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is very important. Then what you're going to need is you're going to need the self-assurances that assure you that what you believe and your traditional ways are proper. They might be proper for you, but they might not be proper for you. Your ways might be proper for you, but your ways might not be proper for you or me. That doesn't mean that we can't get along with each other. Differences, your family. In your family, you want to know about differences? Differences in people? Your brother, your sister, your mother and your father, all of you are different. Yes, all of you are different. Now in my family, we got different colors. Light skin, brown skin, little dark skin. We got those differences. The brother might be male, the sister might be a girl or whatever. Those are differences. That's where the differences start. Like I said, it's self-control and birth. Can you control yourself now about that? Those differences. Just because somebody's differences than you, that don't mean you gotta hate them. You don't hate your brother or your sister because they're different. You don't hate them because you don't look like them, or maybe they don't look like you or whatever. You don't hate them because of that. You get along together and you learn to live with differences, so forth. And that's what's so good about today's world, in forming those relationships, because life can be deceptive. You can, every day you get up in the morning and you walk around, you can be deceiving yourself. Did I deceive myself when I said I'm going to quit IBM and I'm going to go back into the streets with my friends and get high? Did I deceive myself? Have I been deceived this very day? Have I been deceived by the decisions I make? Because if I knew, then I would make proper decisions in order to protect me so I can be successful. I can't blame it on me. But my conscience is saying, I cannot blame it on me. But I can refer to education. The difference. Knowledge. Knowledge is all about the differences. So I say, oh, that's what it is. Knowledge did it. Knowledge is making those decisions. Because the world is what it is. Everything is what it is. And it's all a learning process. From birth, you got to learn things. You got acquired instincts. You acquire instincts. But along with those instincts, you got what we call the intuitive sometimes I get so wound up in this. Look, what course of action should we take? Should we be explicit about what we want, or should we talk about implicit thinking? That automatic thinking, that private thinking. Look, I don't have an attitude. I don't want an attitude. If I do have an attitude, I want a good attitude that's going to build up relationships for me. That's what you want. You want to have good attitudes. I'm quite sure. Right. All right. Let's consider each other. Let's consider each other as people, as potential friends, and something, entities that love you and care about you. Nothing cares about you no more than human beings. Thank you for listening to the program, and I'm sure that if you think about what I said, I'm sure that things will work out for you. Make those right decisions. Hey, consider your subconscious. Consider that other self. Consider that self that just be around. That's not making any plans, doing nothing, just want to hang out and all that. Consider that self, because that might be the decisions. That might be a conduit for the decisions that are being made, which can go far in your life. This is Thurman saying so long and be good.